Hello and welcome back to another We Ourselves video. And today I want to talk about the upcoming Superman film. The only video I did was my initial impression of the first teaser, and so I just want to talk about my expectations or lack of expectations for this movie. Before I begin, I just want to say that I will see the movie. I know that there is a Wallets Closed campaign to withhold support from this movie and James Gunn, not only in protest over James Gunn's version, but to pressure WB to sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. I totally respect all the people that are part of those campaigns, and I actually like some of their YouTube channels. And I also like the Snyderverse, and I want to see his visions completed. So please sell it to Netflix. That being said, I will see Superman, James Gunn's Superman, at least once in the theater for 3 reasons. The first reason is I plan to do a review of the movie, and I refuse to review or complain about a movie I've never seen myself. Second, I have screenwriting clients and writing cohorts, and a bad movie is just as instructive as a well-written movie. I'm pretty sure most of the writers in my current cohort will see the movie. So that's just easy class material that I don't plan to waste. And the third reason why I plan to see James Gunn's Superman movie is because I've seen every cinematic live-action iteration of Superman since Christopher Reeve's first film. Way back in the day when I was just a wee lad, my dad took me to see Superman starring Christopher Reeves. And so I've also watched all the television shows, starting back with the black and white show with George Reeves. So for me, I just like to continue a trend in the process. But that brings me to my feelings or expectations on the upcoming movie. Well, I think I agree with people who don't have any faith in James Gunn's version of Superman. When news leaked out that the WB execs didn't like Gunn's first trailer and its release was delayed, I told my friends, I bet you James Gunn showed WB execs a Guardians of the Galaxy style trailer complete with pop music. There's no way for me to prove that, but it's clear the WB execs freaked the hell out. Why? Because James Gunn is James Gunn. He's a one-trick pony. There's a reason that David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, WBD, sold millions of dollars worth of shares in the company the next day. And basically, he was smart to do that because I believe the Warner Brothers stock is trading for less than $10 per share right now. But James Gunn is a one-trick pony, and ironically, like Ryan Reynolds, who my like for his stuff has gone down to zero, when they get more control over their movies, their franchises, they become unbearably self-indulgent. Now, I liked Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2. I was one of the few people who actually liked The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker Season 1. And although a lot of people have problems with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I still liked the movie. And anytime either of the first 2 Guardian of the Galaxy movies come on or I come across it, I'll tend to pause and watch it. But I did not like and do not like Volume 3. I saw the third movie once in the theater and that was enough for me. Now the question is why? And what the hell does that have to do with my expectation for James Gunn's Superman? Well, I'll tell you. I had several problems with the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie. The treatment of the new Gamora bothered me. Why would she deliver the blow that deleted the High Evolutionary from the timeline instead of Rocket? She didn't know nor really care about Rocket. Now, the original Gamora, who had experienced all those events with Rocket, that would have made more sense, but not the new version. Besides, the heart of the story was Rocket and the villain. And if we thought the dumbing down of Drax was bad, although in the movie they tried to reverse that a little bit, Gunn went into overdrive with the dumbing down of another iconic comic book character, Adam Warlock. And the casting for the character I thought was bad from the beginning. Don't get me wrong, Will Poulter played a perfect dumb Adam Warlock. And that's the problem. The entire take on the character was flawed and idiotic to me. And don't think I didn't notice that visual reference to Michelangelo's creation of Adam with Quill or Star-Lord and Adam Warlock touching fingers. What the hell, dude? Again, self-indulgent. And the other thing that I absolutely hated was something that I loved, ironically, in the first 2 Guardian of the Galaxy's movies. And that was the music. And I don't mean the pop songs alone. I mean the orchestrated scores. I love motion picture soundtracks and original soundtracks, particularly the orchestrated variety. My entire life I have collected the soundtracks for movies and I have listened to them repeatedly while doing other things in my life. I talk about the scores and the composers with my friends who also collect movie scores. And so the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies had excellent scores, both composed by Tyler Bates. And how his filmography includes Dawn of the Dead, 300, Watchmen, the John Wick series, and Deadpool 2. And I love the Guardians of the Galaxy theme. So imagine my disappointment when I go to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and they're not using the same composer. And then I listen to the orchestrated music while I'm at the theater and it's weak, it's anemic, it's uninspiring. And they don't even give us the Guardians of the Galaxy theme. And I believe the guy's name was John Murphy. And on top of that, the pop songs didn't work for me either. For the first time, I begin to feel that James Gunn was taking his own personal music taste and his own personal music list and just stuffing them in the movie. And the editing and the use of the music in the third movie was awful. I got whiplash with how many times they would start a popular song, cut away from it, then come back to the song in the same scene. And I sat there in the theater wondering who the hell edited this movie. In an effort to be fair to the editors of Guardians of the Galaxy, both men have solid credentials. So I put the film's problem squarely on James Gunn and his influence. So for me, my confidence in James Gunn, the one-trick pony, came to a quick end. His specialty was beginning to wear thin, and I felt that way about Creature Commandos and the use of music in that animated series. It was a show in which he had total creative control. And that brings me back to Superman. When I saw the first trailer, the teaser trailer for Superman, and heard that sorry, anemic version of John Williams' original iconic Superman theme, I was highly unimpressed and worried. And every single teaser and trailer released continued to use a weak version of John Williams' original Superman theme. So my two biggest problems with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the editing and the weak music and the editing of the music in the movies. And we know James Gunn loves to use the same people, which means he took the composer to work on the Superman movie. And then news comes out that he had to bring another composer on to help John Murphy. That was clearly a WBD decision that was no doubt forced on James Gunn. And then we learned that his editor quietly leaves the production and another editor is brought in to finish the movie. You can't make this stuff up. And while we're talking about John Murphy, who did what I thought was a weak score for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I noticed something interesting. Like I said, I love movie scores, and I'm always chomping at the bit waiting for them to release the scores for movies before they come out. It's interesting that the two solo tracks that they have released for the upcoming Superman movie, the first one was done exclusively by John Murphy for the teaser. And like I said, it's that weak, anemic version of John Williams' iconic theme. The second one they released is for the current trailer, and it's composed by John Murphy and the new composer, David Fleming, who was brought on to do additional music. And once again, it sounds a little more orchestrated, but it's still a variant of John Williams' theme. Where is the original music for this film? This movie is only, a week away, and they haven't released an actual theme, original theme for the movie. Yet Fantastic Four has released the Fantastic Four theme, and I can listen to that in my car, and I can shout and sing Fantastic Four along with the choir. Don't judge me, I'm a black nerd, okay? It's funny that they released their theme, the original version of it, not the trailer version, which is what they're doing with Superman. No, they released the actual version that's going to be on the album. And yet their movie comes out after James Gunn's Superman movie. Again, my expectations are low because it sounds like there are still a lot of problems with this movie. And ironically, Warner Brothers, the studio that has been interfering, seems like it's actually doing the right thing for once. And the last thing that I want to say, is about this continuous trend for directors and writers to take the money, come in to a pre-existing IP, and then get mad when they can't change it in strange and weird ways. They'll even argue and despise the existing fans. But what's so difficult to understand about this? If you want total creative freedom, come up with your own damn original IP and stop taking money to work on existing projects. That way, if you're original, you don't have to worry about any pre-existing toxic fan bases because there won't be any. James Gunn did not have to write and direct this movie. He could have found somebody else to write and someone else to direct because he's now head of DC Studios. He could have let another team make the film, and when it was successful, he could take a bow as studio head because he's the one that brought this brilliant creative team together. You know, do like Kathleen Kennedy does when a Star Wars project actually does well. But no, because James Gunn is James Gunn. And so he hopped into the writers and directors chair. Well, when you have something as universally known as Superman, you don't get to slap a Guardians of the Galaxy paint job on it and not expect blowback. Seriously. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the matter. I am going to see the Superman movie, but with low expectations. But you can let me know what you are thinking in the comments. Are you going to see the movie? Are you part of the Wallets Closed movement? Whatever your opinion on it, just let me know in the comments. And as always, like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you the next time.